Hungary has made history as the first EU member to join the BRICS alliance, marking a dramatic shift in European geopolitics. This move, orchestrated by Prime Minister Viktor Orbán, signals a break from EU unity and a bold embrace of the East. The decision has rattled Brussels and Washington, raising questions about Hungary's reliability as a Western ally. Orbán's Eastern opening strategy bets on the rise of powers like China and Russia, aiming to secure Hungary's future outside the traditional Western orbit. Hungary is now forcing every major capital to reconsider their alliances, as it asserts a new, multi-directional foreign policy. The Danube, it seems, now flows toward uncharted seas. Hungary's decision to pursue BRICS membership is a carefully calculated move, designed to open new doors for economic diversification and to strengthen its political leverage on the global stage. By aligning itself with this influential bloc, Hungary is signaling a desire to reduce its reliance on traditional Western partners and to carve out a more independent path in international affairs. Access to the new development bank, along with entry into rapidly growing markets in China, India, and Brazil, offers Hungary the promise of fresh investment, expanded trade, and economic growth that could far surpass what's currently available within the European Union. These new partnerships could help Hungarian businesses tap into emerging industries, technology, and infrastructure projects, creating opportunities that were previously out of reach. Politically, Hungary stands to gain significant leverage in its dealings with Brussels. By demonstrating that it has powerful alternatives to Western support, the government is sending a clear message. Hungary is not afraid to look eastward for alliances and resources, and it is willing to challenge the status quo within the EU. The government proudly showcases Chinese-funded infrastructure projects, like new railways and factories, as tangible evidence of the benefits that BRICS membership can bring. These initiatives are presented as proof that Hungary can serve as a vital bridge between East and West, attracting investment and innovation from both sides. Of course, not everyone is convinced. Critics warn that closer ties with BRICS could create new dependencies and pose risks to Hungary's democratic institutions. They argue that the government's gamble could undermine hard-won freedoms and make the country vulnerable to external pressures. Yet, Orbán's administration remains steadfast, insisting that the potential rewards far outweigh the risks. For Hungary, this bold move is ultimately about asserting sovereignty and building a more resilient, self-sufficient economy, one that can weather global uncertainties and chart its own course. The stakes are undeniably high, but for many in Hungary, the promise of greater prosperity, autonomy, and a stronger voice in world affairs is what's truly driving this ambitious realignment. BRICS has evolved from an economic concept into a powerful coalition challenging Western dominance. With its own development bank and reserve fund, BRICS offers alternatives to Western-led institutions like the IMF and World Bank. The bloc's diversity, democracies like India and Brazil, alongside authoritarian China and Russia, creates both flexibility and internal friction. Annual summits and coordinated policies give BRICS a unified voice on global issues, attracting interest from nations across the global south. For Hungary, joining BRICS means stepping into a club of rising powers determined to reshape the global order. Yet, the alliance's internal differences could limit its ability to act decisively. For Russia and China, Hungary's entry into BRICS is far more than a diplomatic win. It's a calculated strategic coup that could reshape the balance of power in Europe. Both Moscow and Beijing have long sought to expand their influence within the European Union, and Hungary's pivot offers them a rare opening. This move signals a new era of East-West competition, with Hungary at the center of a geopolitical tug-of-war. For China, Hungary's BRICS membership means gaining a formal ally inside the EU, advancing its belt and road ambitions deeper into the continent and securing a direct voice in European policy debates. Chinese investments in Hungarian infrastructure, from railways to logistics hubs, now have a political champion within the EU's own ranks. This partnership strengthens China's economic foothold and amplifies its influence in Brussels. Meanwhile, Russia sees Hungary as a wedge in Western unity, leveraging Budapest's EU and NATO status to undermine sanctions, foster division, and challenge the cohesion of the Western alliance. With Hungary's support, Moscow can more effectively push back against European efforts to isolate Russia, especially over issues like Ukraine and energy policy. Hungary's veto power in Brussels now serves Eastern interests, giving both Moscow and Beijing a unique channel of influence within the EU's decision-making process. This could complicate efforts to present a united European front on critical issues, from sanctions to security. The move also advertises BRICS as a viable and attractive alternative for other disillusioned European states, suggesting that alignment with the East is not only possible, but increasingly practical for those dissatisfied with the current Western order. In this new landscape, Hungary transforms from a peripheral player on the European stage to a strategic asset for the East, its decisions now carrying weight far beyond its borders. Budapest's role is evolving, and its choices could set a precedent for others. The message is clear. BRICS is open for business, even for those deeply embedded in Western structures. The gates are open, and the invitation is extended to any nation willing to reconsider its alliances. The embrace of Hungary could inspire others to reconsider their allegiances, potentially redrawing the map of European alliances and shifting the continent's political landscape for years to come. Hungary's decision to join BRICS has sent shockwaves through the European Union, revealing not only deep divisions but also a growing sense of mistrust among member states. This unexpected move has forced EU leaders to confront uncomfortable questions about the bloc's unity, its future direction, and the very nature of European solidarity. Brussels now faces the unprecedented challenge of having a member state openly align itself with the EU's main geopolitical rivals. This complicates not only foreign policy and sanctions, but also undermines the EU's ability to present a united front on the world stage. The sense of uncertainty is palpable in the corridors of power. Hungary's deepening economic ties with BRICS nations, especially China, have sparked concerns about unfair competition and the possibility of backdoor access to the EU's vast single market. Some fear that Hungary could become a conduit for non-EU interests, potentially undermining the bloc's economic cohesion and regulatory standards. The paradox is striking. EU funds continue to flow into Hungary, even as its government strengthens relationships with the bloc's competitors. This contradiction has ignited heated debates in Brussels, with many calling for stricter oversight and tougher measures to ensure that EU resources are not used to weaken the Union from within. The European Union now stands at a crossroads. Should it tolerate such diversity of alliances among its members, or risk fragmenting into a so-called multi-speed Europe, where different countries move at different paces and with different priorities? The very fabric of the EU is being tested. Hungary's bold move could set a powerful precedent, encouraging other Eurosceptic states to consider forging their own paths outside the EU's traditional framework. This raises the stakes for Brussels, as the risk of further defections or policy divergence becomes more real. The challenge for Brussels is clear. It must find a way to manage these growing divisions without sacrificing its core principles or the unity that has defined the European project for decades. The coming months will be crucial in determining whether the EU can adapt and remain strong, or if it will face an era of increasing fragmentation and uncertainty. Hungary's foreign policy is a study in contradiction, joining BRICS while reaffirming commitment to EU defense. Budapest recently reversed course to join the EU's Safe Defense program, securing funds to modernize its military. The government frames this as pragmatic economics, separating political rhetoric from practical benefits. Hungary leverages its position between East and West, maintaining access to Western military tech while reaping BRICS economic rewards. This dual alignment alarms EU and NATO partners who fear security leaks and question Hungary's reliability. The balancing act is risky, forcing allies to weigh Hungary's military value against its political allegiances. Hungary must tread carefully to avoid isolation or mistrust on both sides. Hungary's BRICS entry marks a turning point in Europe's post-Cold War order. The move challenges the EU's vision of ever-closer union, suggesting alternative paths are now viable. Hungary positions itself as a bridge, or Trojan horse, between East and West, amplifying its influence. This could spark new blocs within the EU, with some states following Hungary's lead toward the East. The continent faces a future of greater complexity and less predictability. Hungary's gamble on a multipolar world could bring prosperity, or leave it isolated amid great power rivalry. What's certain, Europe's geopolitical landscape is shifting, and the old certainties are gone. The world is watching as Hungary tests the boundaries of a new era.